Okay, we have returned. I had my class. This one was not calculus 2, but it doesn't matter because I failed that class. So, well, I didn't fail it. We had a quiz today. I'm pretty sure I failed the quiz. I'd love to say you live and you learn, but it deals with like binary, etc. And I'm not a scholar of binary, if you will. But that doesn't matter. We are back. So, where we left off was my teacher putting in a link for something for us to do that I did not understand. Why did I not understand it? Because I haven't had Calculus 1 in several years. So, her help section didn't help. But we begin with estimating with finite sums. But the issue with estimating finite sums is we don't understand how we even got to that point, right? Because we haven't done one. So now we're going to be looking through this web page. Well, I'll be looking through it and reading off to you and working alongside it until things start to make sense. What's actually crazy is I'm trying to find a way to understand how to do the work that I have to do for class. And I actually went to a tutor, and the tutor pulled up a YouTube video for what it is I have to do and used the YouTube video to help me. But in the course of her quote unquote helping me, she just repeated everything the YouTube video said back at me. So naturally, that doesn't help me. Thank you, computer. So what we need to do, I decided to change how we're going to go about this. Right now, my class is on 5.6 areas between curves, but we're going to be tested on 5.3, the definite integral, 5.2, limits of sums, 5.2, sigma notation, and 5.1, estimating with finite sums. So that's what we're going to be focusing on is 5.1 through 5.3. And then when I'm somewhat confident in all three of these, I will start giving my teacher attention in order to get down 5.4 through 5.6. But right now, she's skipping past what we're going to be like tested on because she feels that that's the best course of action. I feel that she should lose her job, but how we feel isn't important, is it? So, let's get started. Instead of reading this book, let's go through some problems that she submitted that didn't pull up when I tried to use them with the tutor. And try to generate potential new problems because these are going to be the types of questions that will be on the exam. Yes? And then we'll also do it based off the mini worksheet she's developed for us. I can't tell you how much I hate this woman. So let's view an example. Alright. So hopefully this example sheds light on what it is we need to do first. So using rectangles whose height is given by the value of the function at the midpoint of the rectangle's base, estimate the area under the graph using first 2 and then 4 rectangles. So this is what they give us, right? F of x equals 2x third cubed between x equals 0 and x equals 2. The area of a region with a curved boundary can be approximated by summing the areas of a collection of rectangles. Using more rectangles can increase the accuracy of the approximation. I don't understand why give us like stuff like that. Just put it in like simple, like dumb people terms. That would help me so much. First, all right, so they're teaching us how we're going to do it. This is what I've been waiting for. First, approximate the area under f using two rectangles. So to do so, the interval 0, 2, which is x equals 0 and x equals 2, must be partitioned into two subintervals of equal length. The subintervals are 0, 1 and 1, 2. Now, why are the subintervals 0, 1 and 1, 2? The world will never know. But let's do it. So the subintervals, because 0, 1 and 1, 2, these have to be partitioned. Essentially, from what I've gathered, partitioned means split up. Sorry, I had baby powder on earlier. It got in my throat. Now estimate the area under F by finding the area of the two rectangles, with bases defined by the subintervals and heights defined by the value of F at the midpoints of the subintervals. Once again, why couldn't you put this in the most simplest terms possible? The world will never know. But they made a graph. And they have 0. For some reason, this is like 16, negative 16? No, just 16. And do they have a value for, yeah. Alright. For some reason, this is 2 and this is 1. And they have it go up like that. They have a box from 1 to 2. Cool. The midpoint of the first interval, 0, 1, is 1/2. So the midpoint of the first interval, 0, 1, is 1/2. I don't know how you'd be able to tell that. Let's continue on before I continue on. Find the height of the first rectangle, f of 1/2. Why is the midpoint 0, 1/2? Now we're going to do, hold on. Yeah? Sure. What's going on? All right. Sorry. So now let's go to YouTube and do what the tutors were doing. Okie dokies. Okie dokies. Using rectangles whose height is given by the value of the function of the midpoint of the rectangle. All right, cool. Are we allowed to like watch? Are we allowed to watch other YouTube channels while we're like doing the work to try to make? You know what? Whatever. Let's do it, bro. I'm not making money off these videos. I doubt anybody's gonna copyright claim strike me or whatever. And even if they did, I just pull the video down, or they'll probably mute that portion. We'll see. Hell, I'll mute it. You know what? I'll mute myself. I'm gonna be watching. Hold on. I gotta pull it up. I'm gonna need you to calm down, Mr. YouTube. All right. This is what I'm gonna be watching. All right. So I'm gonna put me on mute. All right. And I'm gonna hide the screen. This video is like a minute 22. I'll get back with you in a bit. BRB. I don't know how to hide the screen. Oh, never mind. I found it. Okay, so don't ever use this video for practice. I the video got cut off mid explanation. I think they wanted you to like take their whatever to continue like being able to use it for help. So I'm gonna use yet another video. Let's click something else. I'll probably just keep it on at this point, right? Here we are. Let's watch. I'm curious. I got it in 2x speed because that's what the tutor was doing. Some of these people talk slow. I'll lower it down a little. Let's lock in.
So I'm given a function f of x equal to x cubed, and I want to find the area under the graph from x to 1 to x to 2 using 2 and then 4 rectangles. So the first thing...
Okay. You heard her, right? That is the exact question I have to solve. The only difference is instead of f of x cubed, it's f of x 2x cubed. And instead of 1 and 2, yeah, All right, you're probably wondering where I've been. Stop asking. Let's continue. Wait, okay, so she said n equals 2, right? So she's probably going to say n equals 4, and you're probably wondering why. N would be the number of rectangles. So n equals 2 would be the first two, and then we also have to do 4. Let's continue.
The thing I'm going to do is find the width of each
Which is
rectangle.
delta
I'm
x,
using two,
yeah.
That means it's going to be a half.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. So she threw me off with that. So you see, we can obviously tell x1 and x2, right? So she did 2 minus 1, which essentially would mean x2 is b, x1 is a. So a, yeah. So b minus a over n. But in this case, n is also 2, which I guess would also mean we have to do the same thing later on for n being 4, which should be 1 over 4 and 1 over 2. But let's peep it.
So I'm going to have 1, 1.5, and 2. I want to use midpoint.
So you're probably wondering, why is she using 1, 1.5, and 2? My assumption is where x1, which would be a, is 1, x2, which would be b, is 2. The midpoint, which we found out using the width formula, delta x, gave us 1/2. So 1.5 would be the 1/2 in between both of those. That makes sense. I'm locked in. I get that. But then the midpoint. So I guess in this case we're finding the midpoint between 1 and 1/2. So we're finding the midpoint between a and delta x, which I guess would be 1.25. But how'd she do that?
So my heights are going to be f of 1.25 and f.
So yeah. Okay. Guys, lock in, okay? Lock in. So, her midpoint, hold on, I'm transitioning to my phone instead of using the calculator, instead of using the good old-fashioned, I'm transitioning to the phone, so give me uno momento. Alright, pull out the calc. What would that be? 1 minus 1.5, which would give us a negative 0.5. So 1.5 minus 1 would give us 0.5. 1.5 minus 1 would give us, so 0.5 is 1/2. Where is she getting 1.25 from? Is she just picking that? And even if she was picking that, like say you didn't know that 1.25 was like in between that, how would you go about doing that? I want to see the math. Hold on. Let's rewind.
From x to 1 to x to 2 using 2 and then 4 rectangles. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the width of each rectangle. If I'm using 2, that means it's going to be a half. So I'm going to have 1, 1.5, and 2. I want to use midpoints. So my heights are going to be f of 1.25 and f of 1.75.
So I'm guessing it's just common knowledge, or maybe you pick a random midpoint, so it'll potentially be different. But I'm guessing it's just common knowledge that in between 1 and 1.5 you have 1.25, and then in between 1.5 and 2 you have 1.75. I would like to know, though, personally, how you come across that, right? What is the midpoint between let's do it like this, between two numbers. The midpoint between two numbers is found by adding the two numbers together and then dividing the sum by 2. So let's add 1 plus 1.5, which would give us 2.5. Then we divide it by 2, which would give us 1.25. Hey, hold on now. We're working. Did y'all see that? I mean, y'all didn't see it, but you know what I mean. Y'all see that? Hold on now. We're working, all right? We're working. So the midpoint, it feels good when you can like point out something. You know what I mean? So the midpoint is adding x1 and x2, and then dividing it by 2, and that's your midpoint. So okay, I don't want to put that there because I'll think it's 0. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. We got that now. Let's log back in. Hush, hush, hush.
So my heights are going to be f of 1.25 and f of 1.75. So I'm going to put that function into my calculator.
Okay, so she's got 1.25 for one f and 1.75 for another f. And that's because she's looking for two separate midpoints. One midpoint at two rectangles and the other midpoint at four rectangles, right? What was the point of two midpoints? I forget. Hold on, let's go back.
So the first thing I'm going to do is find the width of each rectangle. If I'm using 2, that means it's going to be a half. So I'm going to have 1, 1.5, and 2. I want to use midpoints. So my heights are going to be f of 1.25.
Maybe I have a feeling of what it could be, but I don't know yet. So let's watch it through and like make sure.
And f of 1.75. So I'm going to put that function into my calculator. 1.25 gives me 1.9531. 1.75 gives me 5.3594. I'm going to take the sum of those heights.
Hold on. How'd she get those numbers?
I want to use midpoints. So my heights are going to be f of 1.25 and f of 1.75. So I'm going to put that function into my calculator. 1.25 gives me 1.9531.
What function is she putting in her calculator? See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. They expect you to understand what it is they're talking about, but they're not explaining it. What function? The function is f of x equals x cubed. So is it 1.25 cubed? Is that the function? 1.25 cubed, cubed is 1.9531. Okay, so, okay, got it.
1.75 gives me 5.3594. I'm going to take the sum of those heights. That gives me 7.31.
Did you hear that? She put that calculator away like it was a katana in a sheath. Let's play that back.
1.75 gives me 5.3594. I'm going to take the sum of those heights. That gives me 7.3125. So the area for n equals 2 is going...
Mind you, the sum means to add. Alright, so let's double check. Let's make sure she's not lying. 1.99531 plus 5.3594 gives you 7.3125. Okay, cool.
Going to be the width times the sum. So the area for n equals 2 is going to be the width times the sum of the heights, which gives me 3.65625 square units.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. How the hell was I supposed to know that on day one? How was I supposed to know that? If you saw my notes, you'd probably be like, oh yeah, you're cooked, buddy. Yeah. Oh, I know. Flambéed, if you will. Flame boiled. Flame boiled. Wait, hold on. So let's do 1 over 2. I'll just do 1 divided by 2. Times 7.3125. Which gives us 3.65625. I kid you not. If the step-by-steps, if we could take the step-by-steps and bring them with us to the exam, I'd pass. If we'd use a computer or a phone or something so we could look up the rules and equations and techniques, I'd pass. But my teacher isn't that kind of person. She's a...
Now we're going to do the next one, but we're going to use 4 rectangles. So 2 minus 1 divided by 4 is a fourth. So 1.25.
Peep game. So she changed in to 4 instead of 2. And because of that, the denominator changed from 2 to 4. We got that. Now, let's peep the midpoints again.
0.5, 1.75, 2. And now I need those midpoints. So halfway between 1 and 1.25 is 1.12.
Whoever made up this technique, I hope many people are pissing on your grave right now. So check this out. We're still keeping 1 to 2 with the midpoints, but now that we're doing it in 4 rectangles, I guess that means we're doubling the overall number of the work. So ultimately, we're looking for the midpoints of midpoints. Hold on, somebody's at my door. All right, we are back. Now let's see it.
25. Halfway between the next two is 1.375. The next one is 1.625. And finally, I have 1.875.
Okay, so remember that the midpoint is, hold on, we gotta go back to the notes. The midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2. All right, so lock in. We're gonna be doing x1, which is 1, plus 1.25, which will give us 2.25. If we divide that by 2, we get 1.125. Yeah, okay. That checks. It checks out. Okay. Oh, hold on. I muted her. My bad.
The
I'm
next
tripping.
one is 1.625. And finally, I have 1.875. So now I want to get those heights.
Notice she's got 4 because there's 4 ends. I see, now it's starting to click. If only my teacher was this helpful.
And I'm going to just plug them into my original function. 1.125 gives me 1.4238. 1.375, 2.5996.
Remember, she's cubing these, right? So let's fact check her. I can't let her go. I can't let her get off this easy. I can't put my trust in her. 1.125 cubed is 1.423828.125. So okay, yeah, it still works out. She's applying the same technique over several times. We're gonna do this for one of the test problems and hope it doesn't bring me depression.
0.291 and 6.5918. I want to find the sum of those heights now. And that gives me 14.9062. So my area this time is the width, which is a fourth, times the sum of the heights, which is going to give me 3.72655 square units.
All right. Hey, yeah, she was cooking. I gotta leave her a like. All right, so we're gonna test this out for one problem. Now my teacher apparently ours state as a fraction. It says an integer or a simplified fraction. Now you know I don't know how to do fractions, so let's try this using the math that we've just mathed. Watching this woman teach it. All right. If we get this right, we get to go home. We get to go home and play games, boys and girls, and whoever else is deciding to watch this. Between x equals 2 and x equals 3. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think she gave us a graph, right? So I'm never graphing again. That was a waste of my time. Let's figure out what she was doing. All right. Let's remember. Step 1. Find delta x. I was going to tell you, I don't remember. Find delta x. So 3 would be b, 2 would be a. We're going to do 3 minus 2 over n. N in this case would be 2 rectangles. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 over 2. So once again, we have 1/2. Now, though, when she compared it to like the little graphing that she used, she went from 1 to 2. But in this case, we don't have 1 and 2 like she did. We have 3 and 2, or 2 and 3 rather. So we'll do 1. Okay, I feel like 2 is too close to 1. 2, 3. All right, cool. Now we have 1, 2, and 3, and we know that we're working with halves. So half of 1 is 0.5, which we'll just keep as a half, and then it would be 1.5. 1 second. I'm living in my mom's basement. I'm sorry. And then 2.5. All right. So this one in the back, this half, it doesn't matter, and the reason why it doesn't matter is because we're only looking for 2 to 3, the same way that she was only looking for 1 to 2. But the thing is, when she was looking for 1 to 2, we were looking for 2 midpoints. So she did do 1 to 2, right? Like, I'm not tripping. It was 1, 1.5, 2. I don't remember her having a 2.5, so it had to have been 0.5, right? We're gonna go at this as if we didn't have her help, right? But this is fresh on the mind, all right? So lock in, and after the 3, I'll put 3.5, but I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be from this range of, yeah, let's do, if we do 2 to 3, we only get 2.5. If we do half to 3, I guess that'll potentially save us. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here, but let's check 2. If 2 is wrong, I still might get off. All right, I've got company, guys. I'm sorry. All right, so now let's do the math. What the hell did she do? I am genuinely blanking on what she did. Okay, hold on. So we have 1.5, we have 2, we have 2.5, we have 3. We're supposed to find 2 rectangles by estimating the area. She plugged in, but that was after she did the math, right? But no, because we have to plug in the midpoints, right? Hold on. So if we have 1.5 and we I don't know what to tell you, Chad. I'm lost. I'm going back to the video. Look, we're cheating. We're cheating. We have to cheat in order to succeed. Don't believe that cheating is the wrong way to go. You've been cheated on your whole life. 1 to 2. Okay. Wait, this is for N2, right? 1, 1.52, 1, 1.52, 1.25, 1.75. That's because we're supposed to be finding the midpoints. So if we come back, okay, hold on. Mine looks a little messy now. Whoa! Hey, you cut that out. All right. So now we have 1 to 3. All right, let's tab back in. All right. So 1, 1.52. This equivalent would be 2, 2.53. And we have to find the midpoints. Okay, so 1.5, which is 1/2, is actually supposed to be our in, yeah. So 3 minus 2 is 1. That is factual, right? Over 2 would give us 1 over 2, but 1 over 2 is 1/2. But we're supposed to be finding from 2 to 3. So how the hell did that come about? Hold on, we're cooking. So if n equals 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1, and that gives 1 over 2, what a surprise, we also got 1 over 2. Then, if she's looking for 1, 2, 2, and I'm looking for, wait, am I looking for 2 to 3? Am I tripping? Yeah, she's looking for 1 to 2, so I'm looking for 2 to 3. So, but she puts a half point in. I think she put the half point in not because she had half as delta x, but I think she put the half point in so that she could figure out where the midpoints were. That's what I think was happening, chat. So, with that being said, half of 2 and 3, I don't know. So, let's figure out how to find half. 2 plus 1/2. Oh, it's 2.5. Alright. My brain is officially shut off. Okay. So the midpoints. Remember the midpoints. Hold on. We got to go back. The midpoints are 1 plus 2 divided by 2. In this case, it would be 2 plus 2.5, which would give us 4.5. So 2 plus 2.5 would give us 4.5 divided by 2. 4.5 divided by 2 will give us, thank you, will give us 2.25. I would have never been able to do this without a calculator. Now, I'll be damned. If that's 2.25, doesn't that mean it's just going to be 2.75 too as well? Hold on. 2.5 plus 2.5 gives us 5. All right, let's show the work. 2.5 plus 2. Where am I getting 2.5 from? Oh, I see. Hold on, I'm tripping. 2.25 plus 2.5, because the 2.5 is the half, plus the midpoint of 2.5, it'll give us 5, and if we divide that, it'll give us 2.5. Okay, so the math was clearly wrong there. How the hell did we find 2.25? We did 2 plus 2.25. So in this case, we should be doing 2.5 plus 3, right? 2.5 plus 3 will give us 5.5 divided by 2 will give us 2.75. Yeah. Okay, so 2.5 plus 3 will give us 5.5, and then 5.5 divided by 2 will give us 2.75. So that'll be the 2.25, 2.75. Those are the midpoints, all right? All right. It took cheating to get here, but that's okay. So now we have midpoint, I believe it was f of x being 2.25 and f of x being 2.75. These are both of the midpoints for n equals 2. Yes? So then we're doing f of x because we're plugging into a function, right? So if we cube 2.25 and we cube 2.75, we get, on calculator, 2.25 cubed will give me 11.3906. I'm going to stop it right there. And then 2.75 cubed, that's squared, I'm a square, will give me 20.7968. Great. Now we have to find the sum of these two. So I'm not doing this by hand. 11.3906 plus, we're adding these guys, plus 20.7968 will give me 32.1874. Okay. So now that we have this number, are we done? Is this two rectangles, or do we have to do something else?
0.75 gives me 5.3594.
We did that.
Take the sum of those heights.
Yeah.
That gives me 7.3125.
Yeah.
The area for n equals 2 is
Yeah.
going to be the width times the sum of the heights, which gives me 3.
I forgot about the other formula. So 1/2 times that big number you just saw. So, oh my goodness, the area of n equals 2 is going to be 32.1874 times 1/2, which will give us, I'm using a calculator, 16.0937. All right, chat. Let's check. Let's make sure. Is that it? Oh, I didn't hit play. My bad. I'm tripping.
65625 square units.
Square units. All right. Hold on. We're about to put it in. We're about to put the answer that you just saw me type out into the math problem. And if this comes out right, I'm going to go eat food knowing that I kind of got it, but I have to practice it several more times. If it comes out wrong, I'm going to be upset. God dimmadome. It came out wrong, chat. 16 point, maybe it's too many numbers. Hold on. I'm going to keep cutting down on numbers. Okay. The correct answer was actually 515 over 32. So, what the hell? We're going to go to Google. Let's see if 16.0937 converts to 515 over 32 in fraction form. 16.0937 as you said it does? Mm-hmm. Oh, snap. Hold on. I got to see it for myself. Seeing is believing. You believe in Jesus? Oh, you do? Yeah. not getting spiritual on my channel. How the hell you do that? You just typed it in the calculator?
Look, their fraction is 515 over 32, which means 515 divided by 32.
Divided by 32 gives you 16.09. There might still be a future for me yet.
They just put it in a fraction form.
Thank you. Yeah. So how would I turn 16.0937 into a fraction on a calculator?
Wait, hang on. Is that the 20?
Oh, so I added these two to get 30, and then I used 30 times 1/2 to get this. So how would I be able to turn this into a fraction? Because they want it in fraction form. Because they don't like decimals. Because they were dropped as children.
Please pause your microphone.
Oh, okay. Alright, guys. There's a lot of scratch work. A lot of things you won't understand because I didn't. My girlfriend did a good chunk of this stuff and tried to teach me idiot math. Tune in soon because I still have 5 more chapters of this. Bye.